Good morning, beautiful creatures of the world, and welcome back to Coffee with Kerri-Lynn, or good afternoon, or good evening, whatever it is for you. It's morning here in the far north of Maine, and I just finished my morning meditations. We are in my backyard, in my secret garden, underneath my meditation and wellness tent, where I love to do all my filming and just find... Yes, Giz, it is absolutely peaceful and quiet and tranquil back here, isn't it? That's Gizmo. He is our amazing rooster. He truly is amazing. He absolutely takes care of his flock. Ladies and gentlemen, guys and ghouls, I want to jump on here really quickly to give you an update on what's going on with the Conjuring House dramedy. It's a soap opera. It's a melodrama. It was a very Hollywood-esque, gossipy, entertaining, scandalous, rumory story that captivated the entire paranormal community. When Jaqueline Nunes, owner of the Conjuring House, began bullying, berating, harassing, defaming, withholding pay from her former employees. She was a very horrifying boss. She didn't start out that way, but she ended up that way. And the paranormal community became divided in all our gossipy ways. The paranormal community divided between the people that wanted Jaqueline to be possessed by the Conjuring House in Burrillville, Rhode Island, or by the spirits that inhabit the Conjuring House in Burrillville, Rhode Island. And the other part of the paranormal community saw right through the BS and knew Jackie was up to something. What that something was not exactly clear. But as the story unfolded, it went from a Hollywood gossipy entertainment scandalous rumory story straight to hardcore news, and it happened in a flash. If you have been on the Conjuring House's Facebook page, you will note in the last few days absolutely no posts from Jackie have been made to that page. No edits, no posts, no nothing. It's radio silence on the Conjuring House's Facebook page. Why is that? Well, let me tell you. Jaqueline and her crazy train had no intention that this story would slide this far sideways. Jaqueline Nunes, owner of the Conjuring House as she bills herself, berated, belittled, harassed, threatened, defamed, caused mental and emotional anguish and damage to her former employees. She went after, harassed, and defamed a very famous paranormal investigator from Rhode Island, Jason Hawes. Jason got involved in July in the entire mess because the people that resigned from the Conjuring House were afraid to tell their story about the harassment, the belittlement, the holding of paychecks, the owing of money by Jaqueline Nunes to her former employees because Jaqueline threatened to bury them in lawsuits. She threatened to ruin their personal lives. She threatened to ruin their professional lives. So Jason Hawes stepped in, and I think that is where the story went really wrong for Jaqueline Nunes. She did not expect this to happen. I stand firm in my belief, guys and ghouls, that Jaqueline started this nonsense to stir a little bit more attention for the Conjuring House. She bought a business that she changed a successful business model from the former owner. She put her own little flair in there, and it wasn't working for her. And she, in my belief, was on the verge of not being able to pay her bills. And I said that straight from the beginning. And then in July, we found out that, in fact, she could not pay her bills. Bale Fire LLC can't pay its bills. She fired an employee, Brian Dansereau. She fired him because the ghost of John Arnold, the former owner of the Arnold estate, it was the Arnold estate long before it was the Conjuring House. The former owner of the Arnold estate, who died in 1837 or 39, can't remember, it's early in the morning. The ghost of John Arnold told her in her head that Brian Dansereau stole $3,000 from the gift shop. So she fired him. But there's always another side to Jaqueline's stories and Jaqueline's accusations. And that other side is Jaqueline has done some very dirty practices to not only her employees, but to the people that sold the Conjuring House to her. You see, in order for her to acquire the Conjuring House, because she didn't have the damn money to do it, she paid roughly over $1.5 million. But she didn't have the money to purchase the Conjuring House when it went up for sale in 2022. So she put a lien against the house so that Corey and Jen Heinzen, I know I butchered the name again, it's my special superpower, could not sell that property to anybody but her. And this is how she acquired that property, in a very dirty manner. Now, people who have known Jaqueline for a long time have never heard her claim that she had psychic abilities until the article in the Providence Journal came out that she purchased the home and she has psychic abilities. And she knew the home was always going to be hers. Of course you did. You put a damn lien on it. They couldn't sell it to anybody else. If they had gotten a better offer, could not sell it to anybody else. You knew what you were doing. And things just progress where Jackie doesn't tell you anything, she does. And she threatens people with lawsuits, and she threatens to destroy them personally and professionally if they go to the media or take their case to the general public. And she don't tell you that. And she don't tell you that she owes people money. She owns Satori Hawes and Cody money. She owns Brian Dansereau money. She owes him $9,000. And in July, Jason stepped in because the madness, the harassment, the foul texts. She's famous for sending texts and posting posts on the Conjuring House Facebook page, closing every single text with F you, strong letter to follow. Well, Brian Dansereau followed with that strong letter, didn't he, Jaqueline? Brian Dansereau is suing Jaqueline Nunes and her company, Bale Fire LLC, for not only the $9,000 he is owed, but for all kinds of defamation, emotional, mental damage that she is causing him. You see, all through this story that has captivated all of us in the paranormal community, one very important thread ran through. Real people with real lives were abused, were taken advantage of, by their narcissistic employer, Jaqueline Nunes, owner of the Conjuring House, owner of Bale Fire, LLC. The crazy train is about to pull into a station, guys and ghouls. And I don't think it's the station that that Jaqueline thought that it was going to pull into. The other day, Jason Hawes did an interview with WPRI TV. WPRI TV Channel 12 broke the story that Brian Dansereau did, in fact, not only go to the labor board, but filed a lawsuit against Jaqueline and her company. And Jason Hawes has restraining orders and no trespass orders. He took his case to the West Greenwich Police Department. And now there is radio silence on the Conjuring House Facebook page. I never did believe that this was anything except a case of greed, a case of pride, a case of vanity. Jaqueline is addicted to fame and fortune. And I think that she believed that everything she was doing to people, all the threats she was making to the little guy and gals, would keep them quiet long enough for her to claim that the house possessed her, that the spirits possessed her. I think she was angling on to checking herself into Butler for a bit of a respite, trying to salvage financially her business, Bale Fire LLC. I think she just needed a little bit more time, and she was going to make a deal for a book or a movie, which was going to effectively handle all the debt that she was in. But it didn't quite work, because Jason Hawes put his foot down in July and let Jaqueline know, gave the former employees of the Conjuring House at that time a platform to speak their truth. And he told Jaqueline right on that video that he would sue her into oblivion because he had the money to do it. And this is where everything started falling apart for Jaqueline Nunes and Bale Fire LLC. Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures of the world, be the kindness you want to see in the world. Don't be Jaqueline Nunes. We're going to see the twists and turns that this takes, but it is no longer that gossipy Hollywood scandalous rumory story. It is no longer a train wreck that we're going to look into and speculate. Now this story is going to take a twist and a turn to hard, cold facts and reality that Ms. Jaqueline Nunes, owner of the Conjuring House, is going to have to deal with some very real consequences very quickly. Carpe Diem, beautiful creatures of the world. Live life with your heart, because no one promised you a tomorrow.